Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Extraordinary Talk Show. I am excited to have you here today. It's another Monday. I start the show like that every single time, and I hope you guys don't mind because some things about me don't change much. Some things about me change often. If you guys will give me a second. Those of you that are listening on the radio right now, I'm so happy that you're here. And in case you want to know, you're the only ones listening because I am still getting loaded up on Facebook right now. So I hope you'll give me just a minute of patience while we're doing that. Once in a while, my show starts just a minute and a half early, and I needed that extra minute and a half. All right, we're all good now. So welcome to my YouTube and Facebook viewers who are watching the live video on YouTube or Facebook. This video also will be cropped and placed on the Extraordinary Talk Show YouTube channel. So if you're digging this and you want to get some more information, please check out the Extraordinary Talk Show YouTube channel. There's so much great information there. We've been doing this show now for almost a year, which means that we've got about 40 episodes that we have recorded, aired live on the radio, and are now archived for you on the Extraordinary Talk Show YouTube channel. So if you're loving this stuff, please check that out. I know that there's something in every show for you, something that will help you grow, something that will help you become better, something that will bring you closer to your goals and the person that you want to be, because that's why I'm here. I told a little bit last week that a few years ago, I realized my life wasn't what I wanted. I was doing everything I'd been told to do, everything that everybody else outside of my life, you know, all the people who give you advice but don't actually have to live with the advice. I'd been doing all of those things, and I wasn't getting the results I wanted, and I realized if I wanted different results, I had to have different actions. So I started doing these actions. These things I'm here teaching you today and every single Monday are things that I put into my life that I changed or altered or fine-tuned so that I could have the life that I wanted, so that I could find the happiness that I really was searching for, that I knew deep in my heart was available for me, but I didn't know where it was. I needed a map. That's what the Extraordinary Talk Show is. It's a map for you to help you figure out what things you need to do in order to get the life that you want. If the life that you have now is not the life that you want, you have to do something different than you've been doing, which means you got to look at the things that you're doing and see what's working. I'm not saying change your life entirely. I mean, look at what you've got. Look at the things in your life that you love. Look at how well you're doing at those things and what you're doing to have those things. Keep doing those things. Then look at the parts of your life that you're not happy with and think about what you have to do to change. One of the things that might happen, though, is it's going to make you change your beliefs. That's what happened to me. When I looked at my life, I said, okay, well, I'm here in my life, and I got here on my life based on this belief. But now I'm realizing that that belief, that thing that I believed to be true and acted as though it was true, isn't bringing me the joy that I thought it was going to bring me. So I'm going to change that belief. One idea is that you can change your beliefs. When somebody first told me that, I had to take a step back and go, wait a minute, my beliefs are my beliefs. These are the same things I've believed my whole life. Yeah, they were. And they were the reason I had the life that I didn't want. I'm not saying that everything you believe is wrong. I'm not. But I am saying that many things you believe are wrong. And many of the things that you think are bringing you great results, or that somebody told you along the way, if you do this, you'll get what you want. And you're doing that, but you're not getting what you want. It's time to look at that and reevaluate it. Not every rule that everyone else follows in the world is a rule that you're supposed to follow. Is that a shocker? Does that make you step back the way I did when I first heard that? Because Vishen Lakhiani talks about BRULES, B-R-U-L-E-S. It stands for bullcrap rules, except I'm on the radio, so that's the word I'm using. And what that is it's a rule that's really actually kind of bullcrap. But you've been told your whole life that this is what you're supposed to do. This is what everybody does. This is how everyone does it, and this is what you're supposed to do too. The problem with that is those things don't actually serve you always. Sometimes they do. So I'm not saying throw out the baby with the bathwater. I'm saying take a look in that bathwater and see what you need to take out of there, what you need to put in instead. Keep the baby. Keep the things that make you happy, and the things that don't make you happy, maybe it's time to change those. And even the things that are making you happy, maybe if you fine-tuned or upgraded those things, maybe they would bring you even more happiness than you already have. Today, we're talking about happiness, guys, and I have a hack for you. And I'm almost afraid to tell you this hack. I really am, because it's the simplest thing. It's the easiest thing. It will not cost you a penny. But I'm afraid that people who are listening to me, that those of you that are watching this video that stumbled across it on YouTube and going, who's this crazy lady sitting behind a microphone? And I'm okay being called crazy because I accept that. I found that crazy is a lot more fun than normal. And to me, crazy, I see that with a positive perception. If somebody calls me crazy, I kind of take it as a compliment. But I've also never, ever, ever wanted to be normal. Some things you want to be normal on, and we're worried about being rejected by our crowd, right? By our tribe. So we try to fit in as much as we can. But our tribe looks a lot different today than it did when we started doing that 1,000 years ago. Our tribe today is an entirely different world and different people, and we interact with them very differently. So there was a time when being rejected by your tribe meant that you were going to get cast out into the wilderness and be on your own and probably be eaten by wild animals. That's not the case anymore. There was a time when you had to conform to that tribe or be cast out and be eaten. That's not what we have now. We now live in a world of almost 7 billion people, and that means that there are 7 billion different perspectives, and that means that people are living their lives in 7 billion different ways. And maybe you want to live your life a little bit differently from the guy next door to you, and you have permission to do that. So the hack that we're talking about today, I love this hack because it's so misunderstood, because it's so easy. Because it's so easy that people don't believe it. It's so easy that people won't even try it. I tell you all the time, I'm not telling you what to think. I'm only trying to get you to think for yourselves. I'm not telling you that you have to believe what I'm saying today. I don't expect you to believe what I'm saying today. I'm asking you to test it, because the only way you are going to know if this is a thing is if you test it. About 10 years ago, I was drinking like 3 to 6 cans of Diet Coke a day because, hey, I love cherry Coke and vanilla Coke on the diet style, right? Or at least I used to. And then I read a bunch about how NutraSweet was bad for me, and I thought, well, that's crap. How do I know if that's true? It was an email I got. How can I know if that's true? Well, the only way I could know it was true was to test it for myself. So I gave up eating or drinking anything with NutraSweet in it for 2 weeks. At the end of the first week, my headaches, the ones that I had every single day that I usually reached for a Diet Cherry Coke for, at the end of a week, those headaches went away. Then I noticed I wasn't as hungry. I wasn't getting that 3 o'clock munchies like I usually did. And at the end of 2 weeks, I bought a bunch of bottled water, and I started drinking bottled water, and I threw all of my Diet Coke away. In the last 10 years, I have drank probably less NutraSweet than I used to drink in a month. I'm not saying I never ever drink it because I'm not perfect, but I drink way less now than I used to, and that's because I tested it for myself. And I found out for me, and maybe for other people, they wouldn't have had the same reaction to NutraSweet. Maybe it's entirely different for them. But for me, going off NutraSweet made me feel better, made my head feel better, got rid of my headaches, and I actually lost weight when I stopped drinking diet soda. Go figure that one out. But the only way I knew it was to test it. So just like it sounds silly to think I lost weight when I stopped drinking diet soda, you might think that what I'm about to tell you is silly, but I want you to listen anyway and consider it, because what I have for you is the single, simplest thing that you can do that has the biggest, most far-reaching rewards in your life. And it's the simplest thing I could say, but you're going to have to let me explain it. The secret to happiness is happiness. Okay, what does that mean? Hang on. All right, what's the main ingredient in chicken enchiladas? It's chicken. right? What's the main ingredient in apple pie? It's apples. And I had an excellent apple pie that my friend Zach made this weekend. Anything that you're going to look at like that, I mean, it might have a bigger, fancier name, but if you look at the generic version that's sitting next to it on the shelf, it's going to be labeled as really what it is at the core. The secret to happiness, the main ingredient of happiness, is happiness. The way to be happy all the time is to start being happy now. Hang with me, guys. Let me explain this. This goes into the law of vibration and the law of attraction. When you look in the mirror and you want your reflection to smile, that reflection, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how hard you pray. It doesn't matter how sincere your intent is. Until you smile, your reflection is not going to smile back at you. You must smile first. That's how happiness works. And the thing about it is a little bit of happiness grows into a lot of happiness. This is what the law of attraction is. And I've told you before that if you were to change the name of law of attraction, if those 3 words is too long, you could shorten it to 2 words, be happy. Because that's what it is, that's how it works, and that's what it does. And that's what you have to do to get it to work for you. The more happy you are, the higher your vibration is. The higher your vibration is, the more likely you are to be attracting high vibration things into your life. If you are waiting for that thing to happen to be happy, you are always going to be waiting for that thing to happen to be happy. If you're waiting to get out of school and then you'll be happy, you're not going to be happy then either. If you're waiting until you meet somebody and you're in a relationship to be happy, that means that you're cranky now and you're going to have a hard time finding somebody to be in a relationship with you because nobody wants to be in a relationship with someone who's cranky. People want to be in a relationship with someone who's happy. You say, well, I'll be happy when I'm in a relationship. Guess what? There's a chicken or the egg thing here going on, and you have to decide to be happy first. Haven't you heard those stories about people who want a relationship and want a relationship and want a relationship, and it just isn't happening for them, and they say, okay, forget it. I'm going to focus on another part of my life that makes me happy because focusing on the relationship that I don't have is not making me happy, so I'm going to forget about it. And I'm going to focus on the things that do make me happy. And then someone comes into their life and they're married 6 months or a year later. That happened to me a lot sooner than I was expecting it to. Because I was only 19 and I was like, all right, I've been dating for a few years. I'm not getting anything I want out of this dating game. I'm just going to back off of it. I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on my job. I'm going to focus on my friends. And I'm just going to be happy as I am. And if somebody wants to take me to dinner, I'll let them. But that's about as far as that's going to go because that's all. I wasn't looking for that. Well, guess what happened? I met this guy named Chris on a blind date, and 5 weeks later we were engaged. It went against all of my plans. But when I set aside the desire and the angst that I had around it, and I was just happy, a relationship showed up. And not just a relationship, but the man that I've now been married to for 22 years had 2 biological children, 53 foster kids, and an amazing life. But it happened because I was happy anyway. I decided I was going to be happy whether or not there was a guy in my life. And when I was, a guy showed up in my life who brought me a lot of happiness. The law of attraction will bring you what you are sending out. If you are vibrating, because everything is energy, your entire body is energy, except that it's actually 99.9999% space. So only 0.000001% of your body is actually solid. Kind of crazy, right? The reason that it feels solid, even though it's a far, far, far less than 1% of actual solidness, is because of the way it vibrates. The atoms and the space, that space that we're trying to figure out what it actually is, vibrates so hard that things appear solid that are actually 99.999% space. Your body is vibrating. Things that you do cause your body to vibrate differently. If you are happy, you're going to vibrate differently from if you're unhappy. If you are skiing and you love skiing, you're going to vibrate differently than when you're not skiing, and you're going to vibrate a whole lot differently from someone who hates skiing. Your emotions have vibration. You know what I mean, because you can feel it when someone really loves you, right? And when you really love someone else, you can feel it. And you go off your gut instinct and you listen to your heart. We have all these phrases that we think don't mean anything, but they actually mean a lot, because our gut has a brain and we listen to our heart brain too. And our heart is one of the most powerful parts of us. The more we can work from our heart, the more we're going to accomplish. And I'm not kidding about that. But when it comes to happiness, what most of us do is we can tell all the stories of all the reasons why we're not happy. The problem with those things is most of those things don't affect us right here in this moment. So right here in this moment, right here, right now, what's keeping you unhappy? What reason do you have right here, right now to not be happy? Oh, rent's due next week. I wasn't asking about next week. I was asking about right here, right now. Did you get kicked out of your house today? Okay, then that's something to be grateful for. You have a place to live. You have a place to live tonight. That's wonderful. What else is keeping you from being happy? Well, maybe you're hungry. Okay, but did you eat today? Are you going to eat again later? Well, isn't that something to be grateful for, not something to be unhappy about? So focus on that. Find the reason to be happy. Sorry, I had to check my phone. Anything that you have that's keeping you unhappy, I want you to think about in this moment, right here, right now, is that thing actively keeping you unhappy? Are you worried about your kids? Are you worried that when they drive to work, something's going to happen to them? Okay, but are they driving to work right now? Are they safe right now? Okay, then don't let that keep you from being happy. Well, I'm in a relationship that I am not really happy in. Okay, can you control that guy or that person? No, but can you control yourself? If you can't control yourself, then that's where you got to start. And start by thinking, what is it going to take for me to be happy right now? We rob ourselves of happiness by being anxious, by being worried about things that haven't even happened yet. We rob our joy right here in this moment because of some imagined thing that could potentially happen down the road. Why are you robbing yourself of happiness? No one else is doing this, by the way. You are robbing yourself of happiness. If you are not happy right here, right now, because you're worried about something that might happen, you are robbing yourself of the ability to be happy right now. Are you unhappy because of something that happened in the past? That's another reason. In fact, the two biggest reasons why people aren't happy is because of something that they're afraid of happening in the future that hasn't happened, so they're making up stories about it, or something they're sad about something that happened in the past. In order to be happy in the moment, if you have a big thing in your past that's holding you back, that's something you want to get peace with. And if you have a thing that's holding you back and you aren't willing to get peace with it, that's on you. If I were carrying around a piece of dog poop, carrying it around, it smells, stinks, everywhere I go people notice it, and I'd go, yeah, I picked this up in the past. And I just can't let it go. I know it stinks. I know it makes people not want to be in the room with me, but I can't let it go. Are you doing that to yourself? What are you carrying from the past that is holding you back from happiness now? Because if you are carrying something that is holding you back from happiness now, that is on you. You are the one robbing yourself of happiness. I don't care if somebody else did it to you. That doesn't matter. Are they there with you right now? Are they there hurting you right this minute? No? Then you got no excuse. You need to let that go. And I'm not saying it wasn't worth your time and attention. I'm not even saying it wasn't worth carrying around for a little bit. What I'm saying is the time to carry it comes to an end. And if you keep carrying it, that's on you. When my dog poops in somebody else's yard, I get a bag and I pick it up. And then I take it to the trash can and I throw it away. If somebody did something to you that hurt you a long time ago, stop carrying that crap around. Take it to the trash can and let it go. There was a reason why you picked it up. Just like I pick up my dog's poop when she poops in somebody else's yard. But I don't have to carry that. It stinks and it's yucky and I don't want it in my life. I want it gone. If there's something from the past that is hurting you, I'm not saying it's not valid. It is. It clearly is, because it still hurts. What I'm saying is the only person that has control over that now is you. I don't care who it was or what they did to you. You are the one carrying it now. You are the one holding on to that pain. You are the one making it bigger than it needs to be. And you can be happy if you clear it out and let it go. In this moment right here, right now, what reason do you have to not be happy? Because I bet if you go through all of them, you're going to find that you don't have a whole lot of reasons to not be happy. Health might be one. If you are not feeling good physically, I get it. I'm sorry. I used to experience migraines, severe migraines. They'd knock me out for days. I don't have that anymore. But when I did, I remember trying to remember what my head felt like when it didn't hurt. Because when it hurt so bad that I could barely open my eyes and every part of it was throbbing, I would try to remember, what does my head feel like when it doesn't hurt? And if you have health concerns, I get it. It's harder to be happy when you're unhealthy. But do you have other things in your life that are worth being happy over? And are you blindsiding yourself from those things because of the stories that you're telling about your health? Can you not think about your health for long enough to be happy? Remember we talked about our reticular activating system. Every second, you have over 11 million bits of information coming at you constantly. You can only see, hear, smell, taste, and touch about 60 bits of information per second. So you have over 11 million bits of information coming at you. Your reticular activating system is the filter that narrows down about the 50 to 60 that are the most important to you. By the way, the more angry you are, the more upset you are, the more you're in fight or flight response you are, the more that even narrows. So you get down to about 10 to 30, depending on how upset you are. Don't you want to be aware of the things in your life? Also, you have control over your reticular activating system because you can tell it what things you want to see. If you are entirely unhappy, you've been telling your reticular activating system to show you the things that are going to make you unhappy. Here's your challenge. Ask your reticular activating system to show you things that will bring you joy. Happiness is the key to happiness. You must, and I want to say fake it till you make it, but I don't want to say that because I don't want you to fake being happy. I want you to fake it, if you have to, fake the reasons that make you happy. Come up with new ones. Make up new stories. If you've been telling yourself a story about all the reasons why you're unhappy, tell yourself a story about all the reasons why you should be happy, why the reasons why you are happy. And if you're saying, well, Della, I would have to lie to myself to do that. Okay. Guess what? You've been lying to yourself your whole life. You've been lying to yourself about why you're not worthy. You've been lying to yourself about why you're not lovable. You've been lying to yourself about why you don't deserve to be happy. Those are lies. Start telling yourself some lies that will bring you some happiness. It's not that hard. It is at first. And then you get in a roll, and then you get momentum. And I want you to find a happy place. I don't care what's going on in your life, how much pain you're in emotionally or physically. You must be able to find a happy place in your mind. And think about all the things that you do that make you happy. Listen to certain songs. Talk to certain people. Sing and dance in your kitchen. For me, I love to talk to myself in the mirror. I love it. Whatever you do, do more of those things. And I guarantee you, the more you actively try to be happy, you will be shocked at how much extra happiness finds you. Thank you so much. This is Della with the Extraordinary Talk Show. Have a great week.